Welcome back to Buff-A-Touille. Today, we're going to make chicken pot pie. Sure is great to be back. You know, we just had our last video from our spring break trip. Check that out. We went to Orange Beach, Alabama, where we toured a variety of different restaurants and shared what we thought about those. One of the cool things about traveling is you get to experience different restaurants, different types of foods, and as you maybe saw in that video, one of the favorite things that I had was shrimp and grits, and we also enjoyed the alligator. But check that video out, and today we're going to make something that is also as important to us. I don't know, 6 years ago or so, I took my wife on a trip out to Manhattan, and we toured the area, stayed down in Times Square, and we ate at a restaurant. They had the most delicious chicken pot pie. And since then, I've been in the pursuit of making a really great chicken pot pie. So that's what she had. It was really good. And then also, I had the shepherd's pie. So look forward to a shepherd's pie in the future as well. Okay, so for today, we're gonna stick to a pretty common recipe, I guess, but we're gonna make it our own. And instead of serving it into a pie, we're gonna put them into ramekins. So they're smaller, personal size containers. It's really nice to be able to serve individual plates, I guess, to different people and just make it a little more special. So let's get started. So I guess before we get started, one question we have for you, and go ahead and put it in the comments the best you can. Is it a ramekin or a ramekin? And I guess we know what it is. It's a bowl that we're going to put food in, but let us know your thoughts. So to get started, one of the first things we got to do is make the filling for the chicken pot pie. And the fillings that we're going to use today are carrots. So 3 large carrots, 1 large stalk of celery, and a sweet yellow onion. In this case, I really wanted to find a small one. I got the smallest one I could, and we'll use most or all of that. The last thing that we'll need to prep are 4 cloves of garlic. So we'll go ahead and get started on cutting these up. And we'll start with the celery, just so we can get it off the cutting board. I guess one of the question is, do you want large chunks or small chunks of vegetables? I like them a little bit larger. They are going to reduce down in size once we start cooking them. All right, so we're going to go ahead and cut this up, and we'll get started here on this. I'm going to guess that, I don't know if you can see, but in my hand, that's about the right size that we're looking for. So however you want to do that, I like to make it a little bit smaller so it's a little easier. Whoops, losing the carrot. Just cut her right down the middle. All right, so we just finished the celery. I guess one question is, when you make your chicken pot pie, what are the ingredients that you like in it? For instance, I know that my wife loves it with potatoes and carrots. And that's not how we're gonna make it today. We're gonna make it a little bit different. So I'd be interested to see how you like it. So we're gonna go ahead and cut up these carrots. The carrots, you can cut it a few different ways. You can do the bias cut, which is where you alternate. Or, see, I think those are just a little large. So we're just gonna go ahead and slice cut it. So I don't know if you can see as well as I can, because obviously I'm holding it, but that's roughly the right size. All right, so you may not realize it, but I'm actually a pretty fun guy. So just to have a little bit of fun, I went ahead and cut these carrots up a few different ways. So we've got some shapes like that. We've got some shapes like that. And you know, variety is spice of life. So We're just gonna have a great old party here eating this with these different carrots. Now we're gonna go ahead and cut up our onion, and then we'll do our garlic, and then we're ready to start getting this marriage put together. All right, so now we got the onions all sitting in there with their buddies, the carrots and the celery. They're just having a good old time waiting to go for a dip. And so before we do that, we've got 4 cloves of garlic. We're gonna go ahead and mince that up. You can use a garlic press if you want. Once we're done, we're ready to add it to a pan. So it's a good time to get a pan going. And you're gonna wanna put in about a 1/4 cup of salted butter somewhere in there. So you might wanna get that ready. So we'll go ahead and get this garlic cut up and we'll meet you over at the stove. All right, so we're gonna go ahead, we got the butter in there as you can see. Obviously we're gonna put in the garlic. And we'll give that a little stir, just a little one. Don't worry garlic, your buddies are coming. I guess it's up to you if you want to do as much garlic as I did. Those were very large cloves that I used. Okay, got that in there. Our goal isn't to get all the fragrance out of it. We just want to get it in there and going. Now we're going to put in the rest of our lovely ingredients. Yay, we're finally going to come to a party. I'm really glad I chose a large pan because by the time we get the rest of this stuff in there, it's going to be really full. So what we're going to do here, we got it on medium heat. Our goal is to look for like translucent colors. We're going to end up cooking more later in the oven, so we don't necessarily need to cook all the way through, but we want to get things softened up and broken down a little bit. So it'll probably take 5 or 10 minutes, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, we've been stirring for a while, and now we want to go ahead and have about a 1/3 cup of flour. We want to mix in, stir it around. We're going to make a little roux with this. All right, so we really want to get that mixed in well. You know, roux are delicious, whether you're making chicken pot pie or mac and cheese or whatever, but you can also use almond flour, I guess. That's another thing we use a lot. But we're really trying to cook that flour after it gets coated. You can hear it sizzling. Well, at least I can. We got our oven preheated also, preheating for 425. So this is really soaked up the butter, which is great. I'll just go just a second or two longer. So the next thing that we're actually going to add in is chicken stock. So I've got about 1 3/4 cups of chicken stock. So we'll go ahead and put that in now. Things are looking pretty dry here. Okay, we'll give that a little stir, and then we're going to add in the next thing, which is one of the finest inventions out there. So glad we invented it. Heavy whipping cream. And this was a 1/2 cup of heavy whipping cream. Incorporate those together a little bit, and then we're going to add in some seasonings. So I've gone ahead and combined these 3 seasonings together. So we've got salt, pepper, and thyme. And I'm going to grab those. Salt, pepper, and thyme. We got a tablespoon of salt, tablespoon of pepper, and 2. We have a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of pepper, and let me verify before I say it wrong again on the thyme. On the thyme, we have 2 teaspoons of thyme. So all teaspoons, no tablespoons. So we'll go ahead and get those put in. That would be a tragic mistake, you know, mix those two up. So we're gonna give this a stir. Okay, things are thickening up here a little bit. We don't want it to thicken up too much yet, but today we're gonna go ahead and put in one of our secret ingredients. Just don't tell anyone that we're doing it, because we won't want it to get out there. We've got Parmesan cheese, and you know, ideally about half cup is good. This gives it some really nice richness. So we're gonna give that a little stir, let it get in there. My goodness, this is smelling lovely. Next, we're gonna add in frozen peas. This is where the controversy begins in this household. To pea or not to pea? That is the question on chicken pot pie. So we'll go ahead and get those mixed around. Okay, so that is coming together. Now, we are putting in 1 rotisserie chicken. And we went ahead and shredded that up already. Both of the dark and white meat is blended together. Now, this is I'm not going to call it the lazy way out, because there's a lot of work in shredding these chicken, you know, and especially when you buy them hot. Now, the other way that is really good is to make your own chicken. I like to also make chicken breast and really season it up with some of our favorite seasonings. That just adds a whole nother element to this as well. But today we're going the easy way of letting someone else cook the chicken for us, at least. This will have a lot of flavor. I can tell it's getting thick really fast. And once it's well, it was really about there, honestly. We're going to remove it from the heat, and we need to transfer it to something to cool down. And then we won't go all the way to room temperature, but we're going to let it cool down enough where then we can start building our chicken pot pies. So for that, you'll need some puff pastry or whatever you want to use, but we're using puff pastry. We've also used crescent rolled dough, as well as just the other biscuits in a can type stuff. So experiment, find the one that you like the best, and just make it. So we'll go ahead and pull this off, and then we'll see you when it's cooled down. All right, we went ahead and cut one out just to check the size, but this is the pastry, puff pastry. You'll want to put it on there, mark it, so you get your mark. And when you cut it, don't cut it right to the edge. You want it to overlap somewhat. So once you get it marked, go ahead and cut it out. Give yourself plenty of extra. Then, so I'll go ahead and make this first one here. Go ahead and put our filling in it. As you can see, these are a little bit smaller bowls, which we still don't know how to pronounce. Ramekin. And so this is a nice little size here. We'll go ahead and put this on. We're going to need to do a little fixing, because ideally we can get it to overlap. So the mistake I made there, which is good to learn from, is I cut a little too deep when I marked it. So, but we have that extra. We can go ahead and fix it, since this is dough. Make a little cute little crust around it. When this goes in the oven, it will come out somewhat. Okay, make sure that you give it a little vent hole. And then you can do either an egg wash, or you can use some form of a milk one. We're using heavy cream here. And unfortunately, my brush is missing. So we'll go ahead and just use whatever we can to get a little wash, cream wash on here. Okay, so you just want to repeat that process. And then when you're ready, we'll go ahead and put them in the oven. I suspect since these are smaller, there's gonna be a lot left over. So you can make a bigger one. All right, so we just took these out of the oven. They were in for about 25 minutes. So what you're really looking for is a nice golden brown. You can see we completed a mixture of that. We also went ahead and made a small pan of the extras. So we're gonna let these cool down before we bite into it and burn our mouths. So excited to see you for that. This is the one that we're gonna sample. And here's what we did with the leftovers. So just a perfect amount for a second helping. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and open this up a little bit. Beautiful crunching sound here. Oh, that looks like a real mouth burner. Do I or don't I? Boy, that looks kind of dangerous. Okay. I'll take one for the team. Gotta get a little crust on there. Oh. It's a little hot, but the flavors really come through. That's really good. One thing I like about those larger cut vegetables is they really hold on to their flavor a lot more than if you cut them really small. So there's a lot of just really fresh flavors that come through. So I'm really happy I could make this for you today. I've been wanting to do it for quite a long time, and today it really worked out. So I guess I just have a couple more things to say. Number one is, hon, it's ready. Oh no, I forgot the potatoes. Thanks for watching Buff-A-Touille.